Hello, my flute playing friends. Mr. Fitz here, and we're talking about page 6 and the notes D, C, and B flat. Okay? Now, these notes require a bit of effort to get to work, particularly switching between them. Okay? So hopefully if you looked at the videos that have finger practice, I like to call it evil finger practice, and that you've been working on that. Okay? But assuming that you're able to get the notes to come out, one thing I want to point out is that these notes are all done as whole notes with whole rests in between on this entire page, okay? So I'm going to start out by looking at line number 1, which is the note D. Notice the fingering diagram, which is indicating that your thumb, then your second, third finger, first, second, third finger of your right hand are used to play the D. This is looking a little blurry. Notice then we have a whole note and a whole rest, all right? So let's sing these together. I'd like you to tap your foot and sing with me. All right, ready, go. Ta, 1, 2, 3, 4. 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 All right, so now I'm going to grab my trusty flute. I'm going to play that for you. All right. Now, hopefully you've been watching the videos and learning in your lesson about keeping your embouchure, this is what we call our embouchure, keeping it very narrow and focused so that you don't use a lot of air. Okay, and that'll allow you to hold the note out for a long time. So now I'm going to play line number 1 for you. Notice that I got my eyes on my music and my foot's going to tap. 1, 2, ready. Notice that I kept my flute in position during the rest. I didn't take it away, because then that makes it harder. I'd have to reposition it. So once you find your spot, and you get your note, and remember to use that P sound. That's really important. All right, so now I'm going to go on to line number 2. All right, so let's look at 2 for a second. Line 2, you'll notice the note is lower. Instead of being on the 4th line up as it is with the D, 4th line of the music staff, now it's on the 3rd space. So it's a slightly lower looking note and it's slightly lower sounding. Notice the fingering diagram only requires your index finger of your left hand and your pinky of your right hand. Now this one presents a little challenge to hold on to, especially for beginners, and I'll show you a little trick about that in the beginning. All right. Notice though that it does whole notes and whole rests, just like what we did a minute ago on the D. Now, whenever you do these songs, it's really a good idea to tap your foot and sing them. So let's tap and sing one more together. All right, ready, begin. Ta, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 1, 2, 3. Ta, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now I'm going to play it and I'll show you that little trick, okay? It's really not a trick, but when I play my flute, my index finger has to make like this kind of shape. And what happens is my flute rests right on that little knuckle right there that attaches my index finger to the palm of my hand. So if I curve that, so like for instance, when I do my D, I have that touching, right? Now when I switch to the C, I just go like this. I lift my fingers away, including my thumb, but I keep the flute resting. It's a little hard to see from this vantage point. I'm hoping you can see this. It rests on there. So I'll just show you this way. Watch. There's a D. There's a C. So this keeps touching here. Okay, so there's my D. There's my C. All right, now I'll play line number 2. And again, I'm going to keep my embouchure very small. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, foot tapping is very important, keeping that steady beat. Okay, now Once you can do that, then what you want to do is you want to try to do line number 3, which is going to change them. Now, this is a challenge, okay? Because you're doing the fingers like D, and then C, and then D, and then C. So do that evil finger practice like what I showed in the other video, and I've showed you hopefully in class, is look at your fingers, say D. And, okay, I got it in the right spot. Now I'm going to switch to C. Yes, I got it. Yes, and D. Now, obviously, I can do it quickly. For you, it might take some time, but you just keep at it. All right, and then before you know it, your fingers get little brains in them. All right, so I'll play line number 3 for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that gives you plenty to do. If you can master up to line number 3, that's going to get you a long way towards being successful on the flute. That line 3, I can't emphasize how important that is. And it is a pain in the neck, okay? So I grant you that. Now listen, I'm going to end this video here. I'll continue on a separate one for the rest of the page, but that should give you a good start on doing your D's and C's and then switching between them. All right, good luck. Have fun. Remember, practice, practice.